Happy Monday, Commanders fans. I am back. I was not with you guys for the watch party on Saturday, but Joey Patterson held down the fort, so big shout out to him. Today, I got my 10 takeaways from studying the film from that Commanders versus Dolphins game. I went over the film last night. Some very interesting things to talk about on today's edition of the Commanders Report. But speaking of Joey Patterson here, he did a great job on Saturday. It seemed like everybody was having a good time. He did a great job on his first Commanders Report watch party. So make sure you spam Joey down there in the comments section to show the kid some love. He's only 23, just started here, man. I think he's doing a great job. If you agree with me and you want to show some love to Joey Patterson, go ahead and spam those Joeys for me. And I just want to let you guys know we are going live twice this week. Once again, Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern time, our normal time. And then also on Sunday for the final preseason watch party, Commanders versus Patriots. It'll be Sunday Night Football, so 8 p.m. Eastern. Maybe we'll see Jayden Daniels. Maybe we won't. I guess we'll have to see how much Coach Q wants to play the starters. But that's when we'll be going live, and I will be on the watch party on Sunday with Joey Patterson to chop it up with you guys. So make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already to never miss any of our live shows. Okay, so let's get into the big news of the day, and it is officially official. I think we all expected it to happen at some point, but now it's official. After two really good performances in the preseason, showing out in training camp, really coming in and looking to prove himself, Jayden Daniels, the number 2 overall pick in this year's NFL draft and last year's Heisman Trophy winner, is your QB1, and that's absolutely the way it should be. He has earned this job from the second that Roger Goodell called his name, number 2 overall, back in April. I just think that Maverick, which is my new nickname for him, by the way, he's just been so good, okay? He's been so consistent. He hasn't had too many bad days in practices. When he's gotten into game situations, he's looked really good, and Dan Quinn has certainly hinted that he is the favorite to be the quarterback, to start the season. He never really committed to it until right now, and I do think that that is the right decision. And listen, man, having success in the preseason, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be any good in the National Football League. There's quarterbacks every year that light it up in the preseason because you're facing vanilla coverages. It's pretty vanilla coverages on offense as well. So, if you're playing well in these games, it doesn't really mean anything, all right? You still have to prove yourself on Sundays when you go up against those simulated pressures, exotic looks, rotating coverages. You don't really see a whole lot of those in the preseason. So, we still have to see if Jayden's going to be any good when the pressure is on in the regular season and the games start counting. But listen, man, it's a lot better than him coming out and struggling against those same vanilla defenses, right? I think if you come out in the preseason and you play bad, like for example, Daniel Jones this past weekend, the Giants are in trouble, okay? Because Daniel Jones can't even play against the preseason defense. Jayden Daniels at least has a shot to prove that he can be the guy moving forward now, in my opinion, because he is looking like he is under control in this offense. Now we get to another takeaway here. I know Joey and you guys talked about it quite a bit on Saturday night, but Wylie Patterson is on the freaking hot seat, man. I know they got rid of Ramiz Ahmed, but Patterson has already missed 3 field goals in the preseason, with 2 of them coming on Saturday night. That's unacceptable for a starting kicker in the National Football League. So this is what I think is going to happen. Okay, I think if a decent kicker gets cut by an NFL franchise and somebody that has experience, somebody that the Commanders feel pretty darn good is going to be better than Wylie Patterson, they're going to get Patterson out of here, and they're going to bring in that guy that just got cut from a different team. There are teams out there that have 2 pretty decent kickers to choose from, so I think right now Dan Quinn and Adam Peters, they're scouring the league, trying to see which guys could get cut and which guys they would bring in to replace Wylie Patterson. He needs to get it together if he wants to make this team, man. I know he's the only kicker on this roster right now, but he's not the only kicker in the entire National Football League, and he's going to have to earn this position moving forward. So let me know your prediction down there in the comments section. Type C if you think that Patterson's going to get cut, or type R if you think he makes the final roster. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds, and when that happens, take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. My third takeaway from the film study, Andrew Wylie disappointed me, man. He's the 4th highest cap hit on this team this year. He gave up 9 sacks last year. He only played 1 series, and he had 2 penalties in that one drive. He had a false start, and he had a holding that negated a first down carry. So this is just not good enough, Andrew Wylie. It's just not. All right, this team brought you back because your cap hit's huge, and they didn't want to have to take the dead cap by cutting you, right? So he needs to get it together. We know that offensive tackle has been a big issue for this team, and this team's really relying on Andrew Wylie being the veteran presence in that room to be that guy at right tackle. And we didn't see that on Saturday night, unfortunately. I really hope he turns it around, but it wasn't fantastic for the starting right tackle for the Commanders this weekend. Then we get to Dyami Brown, who I thought had a really good game. He's had 2 really good games, and I think right now he may be trending to being this team's number 2 receiver this year over Jahan Dotson, over Olamide Zaccheaus, over Luke McCaffrey. I think Dyami Brown, this is somebody that people were talking about as a potential cut candidate on various websites here a couple months ago, and I was saying, hold your horses here, man. Dyami Brown's a really talented guy. He's a really good deep threat here when you give him the proper quarterback play that can put the ball on him and all these different things, and Dyami's proving that right now, and he's been really impressive so far in the preseason. It seems like he has a really good chemistry with Jayden Daniels as well. So, listen, man, he wears the number 2 for a reason. Why not make him the number 2 receiver? I guess we'll see how everything shakes out. And, this is definitely goes into the fact that Jahan Dotson seems to be spiraling a bit here because there's multiple reports out there that the Commanders are thinking about cutting the former first round pick here. Greg Rosenthal says here, the more Commanders coaches I talk to, the more I wonder if Jahan Dotson is on their week 1 roster. Now, listen, man, if the Commanders end up cutting Jahan Dotson, that would be crazy. He is a former first-round pick. He had a really good rookie season, all right? I'm not exactly ready to completely throw him into the trash, but I'm not at practice, right, guys? Like, maybe he's just practicing terribly, and he's going into these games, and there's just not much that he can do. And, you do have some nice depth, that wide receiver on this team. You got Dyami Brown. You got Olamide Zaccheaus. You've got Luke McCaffrey. You've got Jamison Crowder. You've got Kazmir Allen, who's looked pretty good as well. Like, you've got guys on this group. So if Jahan Dotson isn't cutting it, there is enough talent in this room to maybe cut him, but that would be absolutely crazy 3 years after drafting him in the first round to let him go. So coming up here on the Commanders Report, I got 5 more takeaways from Saturday night to share with you guys after my film study last night. But before we get into that, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Game Time, which is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. And we all know that experiencing a sporting event, especially a football game live, is unlike anything you can get from watching the game on your couch on television. So if you love to say, I was there for all of your favorite teams' biggest moments, Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. I used Game Time Picks just this past weekend to go to the Texas Rangers play the Minnesota Twins at Globe Life Park here in Arlington, Texas, and Game Time Picks got us the best possible deal on some great seats to watch my Twins give up a 4-0 lead. But whether my team wins or loses, what I love about using the Game Time app is that you get the lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event, all-in pricing so you don't get slapped with crazy fees at checkout, and flash deals so you can get even cheaper tickets the closer you wait to the start of your event. So it actually actively rewards you for procrastinating. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS. That's one word, all caps, CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS. That's one word, all caps, CHATSPORTS. It's right down there in the bottom right of your screen for $20 off. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about Emmanuel Forbes here because Forbes talked to the sideline reporter after he was taken out of the game on Saturday. He had some very interesting comments about the pressure that he feels from Commanders fans. He says, I feel like I'm under a microscope. I can't mess up one thing, and it's a part of football. People are going to make mistakes. I just continue to be myself, and my coaches trust in me, and they tell me to just silence all the noise and just be yourself. Now, the first thing that I'll say about this, guys, is that this is absolutely the right approach for any player in the National Football League. They should not be listening to me, all All right, I'm somebody that talks about what they're doing on the field. They should not be listening to me whatsoever. They need to be focusing on what they need to focus on, which is being the best possible player that they can be. So I love that Emmanuel Forbes is trying to silence the noise, but it does seem like it's getting to him a little bit, and he has been pretty bad thus far. What does Emmanuel Forbes want me to do when to come out here? Say that he's playing really good football, and he should have been Rookie of the Year last year? Like, no, man, he didn't play well last year, plain and simply, and he needs to play better. All right, and he should be silencing me right now so that he can play better, but I'm going to be telling you guys the truth. I do think that the critics will quiet if he plays better. If he has a really good season this year, if he gives up one big play, I do think people are going to be okay with that. But it's the fact that he's giving up big play after big play after big play after big play, and he's giving up big run after missed tackle and all these different things. I believe that Emmanuel Forbes has the talent to be a success in this league, but I'm absolutely going to tell the truth if he's not playing well. I really hope he turns it around. I hope he has a great season. It sounds like he's going to be a day one starter for this Commanders secondary, and this team's going to be expecting a lot out of him this year. I hope he can handle the heat. Now, predict it for me down there in the comments section. Are we being too hard on Emmanuel Forbes? So this isn't a prediction, but let me know down there in the comments section. Are we being too hard on Emmanuel Forbes? Give me a yes or give me a no. Personally, I don't think we're being too hard on him. If he's not playing well, I think we have the right to say he's not playing well. But I do appreciate that he has the right mentality here to try to silence the noise and be the best player that he can be. Then we get to another person in the secondary that hasn't been getting much hate. He's a high draft pick. You'd think if he was like Emmanuel Forbes, there'd be people just going after Mike Sainristil for making one tiny mistake. But guess what, man? He's actually looked really, really good. He looks ready to rock as the starting slot corner for the Washington Commanders. He's looking good in coverage. He's hitting all of his assignments as well in terms of being a run defender from the slot. He's looked really, really good, guys, and I'm very excited to see what he looks like on Sundays this year. He's probably the best corner on this Commanders team, and of course, he's just a rookie. Okay, guys, if you like this kind of content here, you want daily Commanders videos breaking down the latest on this football team all season long, injury updates, takes on all the different things that happened during the games, you guys can find us here and click that subscribe button because we got daily videos, breaking news coverage if the Commanders make a big move, a big trade, a big signing, whatever the case may be, and it's all 100% free, guys. So we're really, really close to 18,000 subscribers right now. Help us get there right now. I need my new viewers to represent me right now. Go ahead, click that subscribe button, and join our family today. Couple more takeaways here before we pack it up here. Jamin Davis looked really good. He played almost the entire game. He got a lot of reps. Apparently he needs the reps, but man, he looked really, really good on the edge, getting after the quarterback. He had 3 pressures. He looked really, really good in a bunch of different moves that he won with on film. So I was very excited to see Jamin Davis had a good week. Definitely think he's a roster lock, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see if he's in the starting rotation week 1. So if you're pumped for the season here, you're ready to get things going here with a brand new era of Commanders football with Dan Quinn and Jayden Daniels leading the way, do me a favor, click that thumbs up icon right now. I greatly appreciate it. It really does help out the YouTube algorithm. Okay, 2 more takeaways here before we say goodbye. Tyler Owens, the undrafted free agent out of Texas Tech, should make this team. Every time I see him on film, he's flying around. He has been really good in practices. He's getting interceptions. He's breaking up plays. He's in the right place all the time. He's been a really good special teams player. I think Tyler Owens has earned the right to make this final team as kind of a special teamer / backup. And if not, I think he is going to be a practice squad priority. But honestly, if you risk letting him go on waivers, I think another team is going to pick him up. He's been that good to this point. Very athletic player as well. I just think that the Commanders can't afford to lose him at this point. And then Michael Wylie. I one of my questions going into the game on my preview before this game was, will Michael Wylie have another good game? And he absolutely did that, guys. I thought he looked really good once again. He looked like he had good vision. He looked faster than Chris Rodriguez Jr., who is slated to be the number 3 receiver here. But honestly, I think Michael Wylie has looked a lot better than Chris Rodriguez Jr. to this point. I think only one of them is going to end up making the final roster. So let me know. Between these two, if you could only pick one, which one's making the final roster? Type CR for Chris Rodriguez Jr. or MW for Michael Wylie. we made it to the end of today's show, guys. So if you made it to the end of today's show, that means you are a real one. So I want you to identify yourselves down there in the comments section by typing real one in the comments. The reason why you're a real one is because you made it to the end of the show. And if you made it to the end of the show, that helps out the YouTube algorithm because YouTube says, hey, these people like this show. They made it to the very end of the show, so they're more likely to recommend our show to more Commanders fans like yourselves. So we greatly appreciate everybody that makes it to the end of every video. And if you're one of those real ones, make sure you go down there and type real one.